The world is on edge. In just a matter of days, the course of history could change forever. The United States has delivered a chilling message to Moscow. Stop the war with Ukraine, or face the consequences. A deadline has been set, August 8th. But will Russia listen, or will the world spiral closer to an even deadlier conflict? On July 28, 2025, President Donald Trump shocked the world with a bold declaration. Russia has exactly 10 days to seek peace with Ukraine. No more delays, no more excuses. If the Kremlin refuses, the U.S. promises to unleash devastating sanctions and economic warfare against Russia, on top of already crippling penalties. This ultimatum wasn't just a whisper behind closed doors. It was broadcast to the United Nations, and the world watched as U.S. Envoy John Kelly delivered the message loud and clear. Russia must stop this war or face measures it has never seen before. To understand why the U.S. has drawn this red line, we need to step onto the battlefield. Ukraine's skies have turned into a deadly theater of drones and missiles. Just last week, a Russian missile strike on Kiev killed 31 civilians, one of the deadliest attacks this year. In retaliation, Ukraine's long-range drones struck deep into Russian territory, targeting fuel depots and military bases. The war, now dragging into its fourth year, has left hundreds of thousands dead, cities in ruins, and millions displaced. The longer it goes on, the greater the risk it spills beyond Ukraine's borders. The United States is no longer just watching. Along with the ultimatum, the Pentagon quietly confirmed the repositioning of 2 nuclear submarines, a move meant to send a clear signal to Moscow. America is prepared for escalation if necessary. Analysts say these aren't empty threats. Washington is also considering new economic sanctions that could completely cut Russia off from global trade in oil, gas, and high-tech imports, crippling its war machine. But history teaches us that cornering Russia comes with enormous risks. Moscow has warned it will not bow to threats. Dmitry Medvedev, former president and close ally of Vladimir Putin, dismissed the U.S. deadline as childish and dangerous. Let's rewind for a moment. February 2022. Russia launches a full-scale invasion of Ukraine. 2023-2024. Western sanctions hit but the Kremlin digs in. 2024. Ukraine regains some territory with Western weapons, but the war turns into a bloody stalemate. 2025. With the conflict dragging on and civilian deaths mounting, global pressure rises for a political solution. President Trump, now in his second term, has vowed to end the war quickly, promising Americans and the world that endless U.S. aid and instability in Europe will not continue. But will Russia comply? So far, the Kremlin is unmoved. Instead of scaling back, Russian forces have increased missile strikes, and military officials are reportedly reinforcing positions in the east. Experts believe Russia's strategy is simple: wait out the U.S. and hope that global attention wanes. After all, Moscow has survived waves of sanctions before. But this time, the stakes are different. The new measures being considered could collapse key sectors of Russia's economy and isolate it like never before. So what happens on August 8th if no peace deal is reached? The U.S. has signaled a multi-pronged retaliation. 1. Severe new sanctions cutting Russia from global energy markets. 2. Tariffs and asset freezes on Russian companies and oligarchs worldwide. 3. Expanded military aid to Ukraine, possibly including longer-range weapons previously withheld. But with every action comes a reaction. Russia could retaliate with cyber attacks, energy blackmail in Europe, or even more aggressive military actions in Ukraine. This is why some fear the world is closer than ever to a direct U.S.-Russia confrontation since the Cold War. While leaders trade threats, it is ordinary people who continue to pay the price. Families in Kiev huddle in underground shelters. Villages in eastern Ukraine lie abandoned, filled only with rubble and memories. Russian mothers quietly mourn sons who will never come home. The war is not just politics. It's a human tragedy, and August 8th might determine how much longer this suffering continues. As the clock ticks toward August 8th, the world waits. Will Moscow blink? Will Washington follow through on its threats? Or will both sides push the world closer to the edge of a global crisis? What is clear is that history is being written in these final days before the deadline, and the decisions made now, in the halls of the Kremlin and the White House, could shape the future of Europe, and perhaps the entire world.